make sure we're on. Also, do it a bit longer.
Back to the beginning.
Do it a bit
I
longer.
can't remember the lyrics though, that's the problem.
I'll join in, don't worry.
Oh, yeah. Start spreading the ash. I'm here to ash. I don't know where to ash. In the old ash. I'm spreading the ash. Like Rocco's and Freddy, I'm spreading ash. I'd like to be so in the ash. It's an ass. Welcome to 2019. If I could make it in your ass, I'd make it in Hey, who said stop the music? We're getting the good bit.
Welcome to 2019 and Friendly Jimmy's
Each
podcast.
year is an inevitable
Happy
march
New Year.
towards being 3 fat Guidos.
Wait, this is the first time.
you're wearing white shirts. We're in our basement now. We're 2/3 of the way there. We're singing Sinatra. Ali's not wearing pants.
It's
We're
hot
more
in here.
Guido the Guidos.
This is the first time in history that all three of us have a mic.
This is huge.
What a revelation. How long have we been doing this podcast?
I don't know.
2 3 years. And
That's
this is the
so-
first time we've got 3 mics and we're filming.
This is a new era.
Not
sorry,
inspired by
but-
Joe Rogan at all.
Well, I was gonna say. I mean, the fact
Yeah,
that
but
we're-
seriously, it's not. It's all Logan Paul. But anyway.
I mean, yeah. You may jump out of a fucking what's it called? A helicopter whilst eating a pretzel.
You don't like that content?
I know what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Isn't that just the inside of your brain? That's all Logan Paul does every day. He just goes to a magic school bus and goes inside your ear.
You're the reason he's humiliating.
And doesn't even take all the. There's so many good ideas that he just gleans them like in the Magic School Bus where it's like they're red blood cells. He just puts his hand out and says, and just grabs one. Doesn't even have to read it.
It's so
Doesn't have to read it. It's like, yeah.
You're gonna bungee jump but dressed as a dinosaur.
Yeah, it mainly revolves around eating good food. That's my brain. It's like, I really do like ramen quite a bit. Like, and that prick's he's becoming a millionaire. Screw you, man.
You are the classic example of somebody who, in every self-help book you ever read, there's always someone who, don't you have an invention and then 6 months later you see it in Kmart and you think, who was the SOB that stole my idea?
SOB. Can we bring that back? No, that's already a thing in America. Can we bring that to Australia?
It needs to be imported. Halloween
SOB.
needs to go back.
Halloween, exactly. Halloween can piss. We'll start International SOB Festival. Day for Thanksgiving of this expression
Wait, what
of
the-
SOB.
What's SOB?
I'm sorry, we just need to draw attention to this again. The man that asks who SOB is not wearing pants.
It's hot.
And this isn't a joke. This wasn't set up. He legitimately asked Jordan, "Hey man, I got a question for you. Can I take my pants off?"
I was permission to drop pants.
As I pointed out, it's like it's just very much like how Logan Paul steals his ideas from my brain. Like the Nationals should just follow you around because you just take a fucking photo on their iPhone and be like, well, we're in Parliament for 8 years. I mean, like, this writes itself. It's like, just like, guess which one of these blokes is a immigrant, you know, and illegal. And then just the NCIS
As
sound
soon
like,
as they're in their house, they're gonna drop their
Look,
pants.
these are
Literally.
barely underpants. These are boxers. And they say,
You're
hashtag
pretty much
no
wearing a
filter.
skirt. It's not much.
and they can say,
Pakistanis wore kilts. Is there a pant bottom to it?
What? No.
Oh, no, he spreads it out, but those are extremely old underpants.
immigrants wearing.
When did you buy them?
They're not that old.
How old? Give us.
I was like 10.
Immigrants wearing boxer briefs. The brief moment we bought the Greenwich Hogwatch immigration policies.
Tin tin. What
It's all facts.
This guy-
I'm really glad. And look, honestly,
back.
if there's anybody that should be voting Nationals, it is Mislav. And
Oh, can we
really
talk about
glad his
that?
mind works
Let's-
that way.
let's maybe
If that's
start
all his
with
mind
that.
is. His mind is half the left side of his hemisphere is Logan Paul's stunts. The other half is just a constant Nationals ad. You don't want the greenies in charge of eucalyptus trees, do you? I've never cut any yet.
We are overrun with koalas. I mean, look at the showings.
And I'm pretty sure they are immigrants. You can go back
We're all immigrants that way.
Is this a good segment?
I don't know, my super
Maybe like Mislav has to talk about his voting preferences.
Oh, is this no?
Detail.
Pass
Okay,
the
if you want to
segment.
come. Okay, we'll come back to
Pass
that
the segment.
later.
Are we going to start
How are
with
we
that?
going back to that? That's
No, we'll come back to that.
Me
Whatever
too.
you like.
All right, may as well. So we're gonna let's start with something more
Readings.
substantive.
Come on, readings.
All right, fine. Readings from the Bible.
Where
We're
is the
actually
Bible?
so because all three of us
Yeah,
have
George
actually
did.
found this liking to Jesus.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about the Lord and His Savior, not His Savior, our Savior.
You might think that Ali is being sarcastic, but I challenge you. Find me someone who's more of a religious figure in this country than David Koch.
Now wait, come on! I'm going to put the intro first.
No. Oh, wait. Is this part of... Oh.
Wait, it gets better.
But we still got terrorists here living in a land down under. Haven't seen racists, bigots, and people who plunder.
Hey, why did you go into an American accent at the end? I'm sorry, you have to look this up. Just pause it for a second. Grant Denyer is putting his high school hat to the side.
Grant
This is
Denyer.
on national Australian television.
I would accept every single like proven terrorist from like Afghanistan into Australia at the drop of a hat if we can get rid of Grant Denyer. I would do it
Dude, just look at this man.
in 1 second.
He's
I mean, Mel
always
said it all. We spend all this money on wars to fight terrorists, but they're living right here,
in the streets.
attacking common decency.
Yes.
Think, honestly, what was he thinking? Family Feud? You? I'm pretty sure that your wife is Tinkerbell. You're too small to be dating a human being.
Also, just quickly before we get into the Bible, Jordan wanted to, because what's the word I'm looking for? I dug up this artifact. I made the resurgence of this. I remember because I messaged both of you guys this video. Like
Classic Mislav found a YouTube video that had 34,000 views and was uploaded 7 years ago.
It was the best.
All of a sudden, Mislav, always in the know, clicks on it now. How did you get it?
It was the
Oh shit! Look at the first comment on this video. Friendly Jordy sent me.
Yes.
Everybody has to go and watch this for your own sake. This isn't even an extended joke for us. This is for you.
And then just quickly,
And you think that we don't give you bang for buck for Patreon?
just quickly, Ali, do me the honor of reading the second comment after the first comment.
Well, okay. This is possibly the saddest moment in human history.
It's a whopping 30 likes. I think it has more likes than the video.
Wait, can you scroll down? I can't
Actually,
see
just
the
about. Like,
Did
you
I
think
not-
that's a joke, but just about.
Did I not write anything? Because I'm really disappointed if I didn't. I thought I would have written something.
Well,
No, I jumped.
let's just not go through all the comments.
Look,
all right, just okay. This is so we're gonna be.
I'm sorry,
reading-
no, wait. There's one
No,
more thing that we
fine.
need to do before we even get into the Bible, which is you have to listen to Nat rap. I'm sorry. It's,
Yeah,
she
yeah,
consists
do it,
by a
do it,
witch.
do it.
Why does she look
Do
like
it,
that?
do it.
Just play
Just
it.
play that part.
And everybody, you can look this up in your own time. That's your own business if you want to, but you have to listen to this. Get ready.
This is what you demonstrate through your words, your actions, and the way you translate. It's enough. You gotta have love just to stand straight. Take control of your mind and meditate. Let your soul gravitate to the love.
She's a newsreader. She still has a job. Why does she look so scared?
I don't know.
I've never seen fear and anger in that intensity unless I've been watching an interview where an 80-year-old is being interviewed about a genocide that they participated in their 20s. It's the same photo they have.
You know,
I think this is leftist propaganda. What about the time Bernie Sanders did a rap?
Jeez,
That was pretty
can't
much the
remember that.
same.
Look, you know.
I don't remember the lyrics, but it was just like he was basically just saying words with the soundtrack behind him.
Well, you know the
Where are
Irish...
you when you go into the hood and you say, "Where's my healthcare?"
The 1%, they ain't spreading it round. That Irish guy, just to tie into that, the like, or Scottish, I don't know, he's Irish or Scottish, he looks like he has, he looks like a Down syndrome fetus, that guy. I don't know, I hope the annals of time have desecrated his being, because I haven't seen him recently. I think he got a job on Nova somehow like 8 years ago, but anyway.
Are you talking about
the Irish guy? He's like a pudgy Irish guy.
Yes, and he looks like he should have had no other job in life but to edit videos for Wii News.
Yes, he's wearing a Shake of Irish shirt.
Yes, that's right! And has really cheap green screen in the background where you can see the outline of him. Again, it's not like these people are short of money. Sunrise is pretty cashed up.
Play it. No. He gets his own little spotlight.
Yeah, way towards the end.
All the stuff.
I remember this being released 10 years ago and thinking, no, they did a good
this
job.
guy.
Yeah, most certainly.
He's got his own section. He's got his own spot.
Yeah, but I can't remember where it is. It's somewhere along. You're going to have to do this at your own time.
No.
Fast forward.
This is important stuff.
I forgot that like a huge portion of this podcast.
This guy is the worst. He's the dark horse of the fucked cunts, because he actually has some lyricism.
I don't know. To slightly paraphrase Melissa Doyle, have you seen Sonia Kruger?
Well, we've got to do it on their own.
Yeah, we'll do it another time. We've got to get onto the important bits of this.
No, at least give
quickly.
the introduction of the Bible that we're about to read.
No, Jordan, just quickly. I found it on none other than the House of Love, of course. Now continue. One of my Dero friends on a group chat I have on Facebook resurrected it, and it was really satisfying. Yeah, so there you go.
And you do need to go into the annals of the House of Love one day. We'll do an entire podcast about it because it is a piece of Australian history that needs to be put down to the annals.
I agree.
But also what needs to be put down to the annals is the fact that David Koch wrote a book 10 years ago, and to celebrate its 10-year anniversary, we will be reading extracts all year from none other than, and if you don't have this, this should be in every bedroom counter-side.
The Ruknama of fucking Australia.
It is!
It's so good.
Why haven't we spent billions of dollars on a giant golden statue of David Koch at the bottom it just says, if you buy small oranges, you actually save money because they've got less skin than the big ones.
Can you just point it towards the camera as close as you can just for now, just to get it? Yeah, you get this. Everybody out there, don't worry about 12 rules for life, Jordan Pearson. Don't worry about Tony Robbins.
Don't worry about the 10 Commandments,
No.
101 ways. It's way more complicated. It's an updated version. Now there's more problems to worry
is it
about.
not strange that it looks like one of those...
Why is it so thin? Why is it so thin? I've never seen a book that thin unless it's meant for 4-year-olds.
You know what it looks like? It looks like an LJ Hooker like suggestion panel. You know, it's like advice on property only if you're keen. So it's about 4 pages. You know? It's like
Buying a house could be one of the biggest decisions of your life.
here's an introduction. Yeah. And you can you just don't smash avocado. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, look, the front is a great photograph, but look, with no further ado, it is called Koshi's 101 Ways to Survive 2009.
Well, the original plan was for Miss Love to read it, but I think, Jordan, you need to do it in the voice. You need to do the voice.
I'm
Are you going to choose it
for
at
the good of the
random?
pod, but what is also for the good of the pod is check out the video. You have to look at this pensive photo of David Koch looking into the front, like one of the later albums of Sting.
Dude, you know what's funny? He thinks he's really smart and sophisticated right now, whereas he's a meme. He's a fucking joke.
Also,
It's like a robot trained to look serious.
Also, was his signature written by his 3-year-old
Just show
son?
it to the camera, just so like at least
I'm
the
sorry,
YouTube
just
people can
so we
see
have
it.
proof of this.
You
I'm
gotta show
leaning
it
towards the
You
camera.
gotta show it.
His signature says cocky.
Well, he's anything but cocky.
So retarded.
I'm sorry, but look, doesn't it make so much sense now? Just by looking at the cover of this, you don't even need to know about the 16 years of service he's put into Sunrise to know that the previous producer that set up Sunrise, the brains behind it, when they fired Mel, which I'm still reading about to this day, it's one of the biggest injustices in Australian history. It was way worse than the genocide. Culling Mel. To replace with Samantha Armitage? I thought she was a growth on my back that learned to talk.
Wait a sec. Which is the blonde one?
That's Mel, the one that goes, have you seen racist people who plunder?
I had, and I know you did too. We both had the biggest crush on her.
Stop making fun of important issues.
I had the biggest crush on her. I had the biggest crush on her.
Stop. Sorry, this is so unprofessional. I just need to ask this.
Just
Are
say
we
the
still
line.
recording?
Yes, we're recording. What do you mean?
Sorry.
Hey, it's the first day back in the new year. We can do that.
Keep going.
Would you what, not record?
No, we can
I
make
think you're
mistakes.
talking about Melissa Doyle's cans, and that is a conversation that I'm not going to stay away from.
Hell yeah!
No, I am talking
She
about...
was the one who made me choose Australia as my second home, and now my primary home.
Really? I don't know who. Look, I don't know the names of these D grade losers.
They're not D-grade, dude. They're fucking prime time people.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
That is true. She is the, even though Nicole Kidman is Australia, she's the Nicole Kidman of Australia.
Look. All I'm saying
fuck off,
is...
Nicole Kidman. You can be American now.
Let me
No one wants you.
Yeah,
You
no
should
one-
be like that guy that came back from Syria and then no one accepted his passport and now he's just a citizenless man.
No, even Fiji's telling that guy to fuck off, and they don't tell anyone to fuck off.
I'll give you a small insight into... how does anyone from Fiji be angry?
It's impossible. There's never been that. It's either been all smiles and drinking of coconuts or cannibalism. That's it. Yeah.
No, just to give you a really short insight, it's like, basically the scenario was me... Look, I'm speaking for myself. I know that I think I'm speaking for Jordan as well. But our whole generation, basically, once Cheese TV, died, the blonde girl that has a like vaguely Jewish nose. She's the kind of girl that you're like, no, you're not. You jump from no, you're not hot to no, you're heaps hot between the space of like 10 seconds, constantly.
Wait, who's this chick?
She's
Just rewind, Ali. You're gonna have to teach us.
I'll show you.
What do you reckon? Does she have international appeal,
Wait,
or is it just because she reminds every
That
Australian?
lady.
Nat. No, everyone would tap Nat.
I would not.
Are you not talking about Nat? Who are you talking
You would,
about?
but look at her. She's a very scary, skeletal woman. But
I would not tap that lady
Neither
if
would I.
someone was giving me...
I've changed my mind, and that's the
$50.
question of this week for podcast members only. Would you tap Nat? Let's move back.
This is the member-only one. It's going out to everyone.
Well, turn it off. All the media issues.
So wait, who are we talking about?
Give me the bloody mouse. God damn it.
This is... yeah,
This is what happens when you entrust people to use Hewitt Packard. Now, here we go.
There she is.
Yes, she's alright. She kind of reminds me of that mom from Home Alone.
Yeah.
See, this is the reason why everyone would tap her. It's because it's very Freudian, but it's the mum everyone wishes they had.
Oh
That's
shit, dude,
what
I
it
forgot.
is.
I was like trying not to be this tappy womany in 2019, and I lost out on the first episode.
Dude. You got no one to blame but yourself.
Yeah.
Again, you're not wearing pants,
Yeah.
but you're also wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
But dude, there's no
very
women here. It's
manicured
okay.
beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing this. This is my new.
And on top of that, Ali, I'm sorry, but you can't walk into this podcast and say that you're going to get less ratey when the very last thing that you purchased was a bunch of beads that are wooden from Bondi.
So what?
Why did you buy them?
Oh well, they look good. That's the reason why I bought them. Why I bought them. No other reason whatsoever. And Jordan can shut the fuck up.
No, you can't. You have to get branded on your leg a picture of a topless Brazilian man, and then every time someone sees it, so they have to go boof, da boof, da boof.
Dude, Tom Hardy wears them too.
Tom Hardy is the only man on Earth that is allowed to wear them.
Fuck off. Why? Because he's white, right?
Because he's
No, that's not true. And on top of that, Lisa, you're being way too harsh here because it's a little more broad than that. John Mayer is also allowed to wear.
Yeah, I'll pay that. High five.
Why John Mayer? And why Tom Hardy? in
Okay, I'll
particular?
tell you why.
Look,
John
can
Mayer
you play acoustic guitar sort of well.
John.
Yes, I can play that one one song.
That's not good enough.
Hey,
You have
it's
to have
all
some
you
originals.
need. It's all you need. What you do is, this is what I've learned. This is my potty trick. I know one song that no one knows in Australia because it's actually a Bollywood tune that I say is my own composition.
That's douchey enough to wear this.
Yeah, there you go. I'm allowed to wear the beads
You've
now.
gone
You're
full
man
circle.
number 3.
You've gone full circle. Now you can. Now you're allowed.
Wait, okay, you can play the fucking guitar. So you want them?
No,
You
dude.
can play electric.
Why can't you wear them? I don't understand.
You can wear them if you were in Inception or if you were fucking Bane.
I don't understand this. You need to tell me what's the reason. Don't give me names of movies.
Okay, I'll explain. You have to be.
Can you wear them if you appeared on Friendly Jordies?
No. No,
way
dude.
too.
Appearing on Friendly Jordies is the equivalent of like I used to eat.
We
Elvis
are
bread.
Gen Y's Sunrise.
We're Sunrise. We are fucking Sunrise. We're less edgy than Kosi. He's more centrist. He's my hero. He's like, I'm too left-leaning.
You know what? And by the way, just like as a side note, that fucking video that you uploaded last time, the single dad one,
Yeah.
where I have like a scene for 1 microsecond
That
where
was
I
a
just
mad video.
raise my hand.
That was a sick... Oh.
I am so pissed off at people because I don't know if they're joking or if they're serious. I've gotten messages saying, great work raising your hand. I'm like, fuck off, cunt. They're like, no, you killed it, bro. It's like, I don't know how to react to that shit, and I am not doing any of your fucking bullshit cameos now. That's how it's gonna go.
He's furious.
Because
He's
like,
furious for being given a platform.
People
Jeez.
ironically loving him.
Dude.
I was
Ali,
because
okay, I
I
don't know
was
if
just
you
hanging
realize
out,
this.
doing my own thing, and he's like,
this is
dude,
what
can
you
you
need to
come in for a
understand about
second and
ironic
raise your
love.
hand?
No,
Ali, have
that
you
wasn't
not
my
realized?
plan.
It was your plan. Because I remember that day, I was just up to my own business until like, hey dude, can you just come here for one second? And then it's just like, just say hi, and then you're
He's
mad,
acting
you're
like
fucking
you rolled
editor.
him. Dude, have you not realized, okay, and this is a pretty hectic concept, I know, but have you not realized that like a lot of the internet involves trolls?
Yeah, I realized, and I want them to fuck off. I used to be a smart political commentator until I became the hand
Dude, you could be, in fact, Stephen Hawking became a meme on the internet. You can't not be paid out on the internet. You can be an
It's not the internet. People
astrophysicist.
are messaging me. They have my number.
He's gotta listen to the wisdom. Listen to the wisdom of the man that looks like a Chechnyan freedom fighter.
Why do you not listen to me? When my Pepe, what? When my
You gotta
Pepe,
take off your cap for the camera, bro. Come on.
Chechnyan warlord. Don't fuck with me.
As if your catchphrase isn't, but what's in it for Barishnik?
You know what's really funny? I watched GoldenEye because, as everyone, all of our listeners would know, you know, they like entertainment, so they watch Stan and fucking Netflix. So Stan just bought all the rights to James Bond. So I just became a fucking heroin addict of Bond, just mainlining fucking Sean Connery in my veins for the last like 2 months, like 4 times a day. I'm just on Bond, you know, smack.
Yeah,
and anyway, I watched GoldenEye.
you can continue. Miss Love comes up to me, he's like, you know how like people are Lord of the Rings people or Star Wars people? I think I figured out. I'm a Bond person.
No. I figured that out when I was like 11. But basically, I watched GoldenEye, and like, dude, I resonated with the Russians in that movie. Hey, in
What?
GoldenEye. They're just
You're a
mad.
commie now?
No, I'm not a commie. They're not. Would
It
you
comes
call
in
them
a
commies?
package,
Would
man.
you call them commies? Legitimately?
Yeah, Russian. Yes, I would call them. Because they record literally fucking commies.
Yeah, but China's literally commies. They're not
International
commies.
affairs.
Actually, China wasn't
calling Russians commies.
Chill out. Chill.
Did you know?
Chill.
Dude, we're basically just Miss Love and Trump. Because Trump,
They can handle it, Afghanistan.
Trump had the same issue as Miss Love.
Yeah,
He's
that's
like,
true.
Because he said, did you know Russia used to be called Soviet Union? I'm not making that up. Look that shit up. That's you. Someone who's saying, wait, would you call Russians communists?
I think, boys,
But it's
I'm
not-
sorry
it's
to
not-
be
we shouldn't
the
get into
downer
its
on the
politics.
fun of how many James Bond films Miss Love has watched
All
recently. But you do need to impart your wisdom on the net for Ali, because he was very upset at the highest compliment, which is people sarcastically giving you compliments.
Yeah, dude, I don't
that's as big as it gets
you
on the
got
net.
the Nobel
Take it
Peace
from
Prize.
somebody who's been on the net for the last 5 years.
Yes.
That's all you're going to get, Ali.
Ali, how are you? Do you expect the head of YouTube to knock on your door, give you one of those fucking YouTube awards that Jordan has, even though you haven't done anything on YouTube? It still gives you one.
Hey, Noseworthy Live.
Okay, yeah, they give you an
For your
award.
whopping 1,000 subs.
2,000.
Contributions.
2,000.
The first person to go double platinum.
I don't like this attitude.
No, listen to me. That's not going to happen. Listen to me. You have been, and it happens to me all the time because people are always just like, oh, like I don't know. I like post a thing of me eating lasagna and be like, fuckhead, Italy spaghetti, and I'm like, yeah, thanks. You're a mad cunt. Like you can be my best man at my wedding. So basically, dude,
we have to do that for the podcast. You have to get the guy that insulted you on the net to give you the ring.
To give me the what?
To give you the
Dude,
ring.
Your actual best mate would pretty much do the same thing as that guy.
Put it this way.
And you just know he's not going to wear a tuxedo. He's going to wear a shirt that looks like a tuxedo.
You have received. Look, I'm not going to say the Nobel Peace Prize. You've received like some really worthless guy with a worthless position in the UN or the EU coming up to you and being like, hey, once the Bolsheviks came, Belgium was your hotbed. But the jazz clubs, it was always worth it because the jazz clubs were so good. One of those guys shaking your hand. So you should be in heaven.
I'm not though. It didn't feel good when I was
Do you want me to just repeat myself?
No, I don't want you to. I'm just saying I've made up my mind.
But logically, think about it. You should feel good. Logically.
Alright, so I think we need to make a shout out on the net, and this always
Keep it
goes
coming.
well.
Bring it on.
Ali is a sensitive soul, and he doesn't want to be teased.
Yeah, hey, you 20 million
This is
people.
going to work.
Yeah, internet.
Code and trolls. This is what stops us to be nice.
Politely asking for you not to tease this man not wearing pants. Stop teasing him.
I forgot there was gonna be a camera and I'm hot.
This is a good social experiment. Guys that are on Centrelink have no. Your mum won't even give you an allowance, no money. You're such an advocate for Mammy noodles that like you might as well get a tattoo on your face because you eat it most, like as you know, the most as anyone on earth. Be nicer, alright?
Well, look, here's the thing. It would be fine if it was just like nameless bots on the internet. I'm talking about people that I know that are messaging me and saying you killed it. And I've done other videos where I've had a substantial role and I've never gotten a message.
It's a
You're
compliment.
listening to #BeBetter, the podcast.
Ali, it's
Alright, let's move on. We were supposed to
We
be
haven't even
Kosi.
read from the Bible.
Let's pay on Kosi and not me.
Let's read from the Bible.
You need to go to church, Ali. Admit your sins. See, this is the thing, right? This is the net in a nutshell. Do I love David Koch or am I paying him out? I don't even know.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The lines are blurred.
Yeah, it's
okay.
way too far.
It's okay.
And I think the answer at the end of the tunnel is, I secretly wish he was my dad.
He pretty much is your dad.
Dude,
Pretty
it's
much
weird
is
that his dad's literally in the next room probably listening to this.
He does look a lot like David Koch.
And he also probably gives you like sound economic advice. He does.
Yeah,
Me and him
dude,
talked
your
about
dad
you
also-
buying property when he was in Lithgow for like half an hour, and I was like, yeah, he waited too
It's
long.
mad.
The
Your
bubble's
dad
gonna burst.
also has the one-on-one ways to survive. He just gives them verbally, and they were also developed in 2009.
Dude, and Terry is Kosi.
Instead of writing them in a book, he just sits there and watches A&E non-stop and says the same thing.
Dude, and Terry and Koshi sounds very similar. Is your dad Koshi?
I think so.
Yeah, man. By that logic, Obama is Osama.
That's where he must go in the morning. When I wake up, he's not there.
certificate? Huh?
Alright, anyway, here we go.
Let's hear some of the wisdom.
Number one, finances. Talk about it. Financial stress is one of the most traumatic pressures to cope with. Those 2 words never spoken. destroy families and relationships. Love and money don't necessarily go together. The key is to talk about your financial problems. Don't bottle it up so that's right.
This is the shittest. This is like the Barefoot Investor written by someone with fucking Down syndrome.
Do you think he has property at
Is that
this
it?
point?
Is that it?
This book
I don't know.
gets-
I just don't know. Maybe
Dude,
this book doesn't
but
actually
just-
exist, and I just wanted it to
No,
exist so
and the
much.
tagline, and the tagline.
What is it? Oh, sorry, how did we forget this? Thank you for your astute eyes, Ali. Glad someone who's got their head strapped on right. The tagline to Koshi's 101 Ways to Survive 2009 is, this book can save you $10,000.
That's not just specific enough. That's not even that high.
That's the shittest amount of money. This book can save you 1/100th of a deposit of a house in Sydney, maybe. So Matt, so you basically saved me a peanut butter sandwich. You moron.
I mean, honestly, how
How is-
disappointed do people look on Deal or No Deal when they win $10,000?
I would
To
rather
be fair,
not have it.
this book was written in 2009 when $10,000 was a deposit.
It wasn't though. It still wasn't there. Dude, the deposit was still like 5
Oh
times.
yeah,
that.
his wife is
Bangable?
looking.
She's
Yeah.
bangable. His wife, you know why his wife's bangable? Real quickly, she's got that kind of face. It's just like she's. This is her face. Nothing will surprise her. Your personality can be that of a fucking doorstop. She, So
Dude,
do you want
doesn't
to make
she?
something to eat?
She
that's
kind of
her
looks
face.
Yeah,
like
she's seen it all, and why?
she kind of looks like that. She looks like an
Because she
old.
grew up in Tamworth. That's why.
Did she?
I'm just guessing.
Probably.
She does look like she grew up in Tamworth.
And I am
she looks like
psychic.
an older version
I'm
of
psychic.
that lady
We're gonna have to
from
look that up.
Stuart
Yeah,
Little.
Sorry.
She looks like an older version of that lady from Stuart Little.
Anyway, that's really.
Well, this is all interesting and insightful,
What's the
and I hope
next
that you all
segment?
learned something
It's
from Koshi's
unchanged.
101 Ways to Survive 2009, because we're down to just 100 ways next episode.
Dude,
Also-
by the end of this book, which we're going to do in every pod, we will save our audience $10,000 each.
And then, but then,
That's
but then,
$20,000 if you combine all our audiences.
but then the most
It's only
interesting.
fair that you give us at least $2,500. You're
Yeah.
still profiting 300%.
That's right. Give us the money.
The real savings start when the Man book by what's his name?
James Curley.
By James.
How could you forget?
Because just to point out to our audience, I was going through my garage and I found a little piece of merchandise that I thought I'd lost a long time ago that was probably the best find I've ever found. It was just like, might as well have been solid gold bricks. And it was the Bible. And that will be coming up.
Advice
after that.
worth its weight in
Oh
gold.
wait, so we're gonna boot Koshi.
No. We're going to go through every
toe to toe.
page of that book.
Your head is going to explode with knowledge or success. Either one of those two things, and we aren't responsible for what happens. But you'll be aware.
You can pay my funeral with the $10,000 that you saved.
I will shave you 1/16th of the price of a catering for a wedding party. I don't want that, Koshi. It's not worth the time I spend reading.
Dude, at least he's being realistic, because it.
Yeah, I know. Every other book's like 1 million, 2 million, 10 million. It's like 10 grand.
I'm sorry. Look, I know that we need to move on because it's been half an hour talking essentially about whether or not we like Koshi's covers. But there is 2 quotes on the back here. And they are, "These will be the happiest days of your lives" by Libby. And then there's also one by "Tough times don't last, tough and happy people do," David. And do you know who David and Libby are?
Who?
David and Libby Kosh. And quoted their own book. Giving their own book props.
That is the most...
Find like famous friends that can do this shit.
That is the most fucked... He could have got that dumb bitch...
Dude, how depressing is this?
Get Nat! Everyone knows who Nat
Or
is!
get the blonde guy with the gambling problem. What's his name?
This is sad. This is like Australia's Fareed Zakaria. This man.
Yes, or at very least, publish this in 2012 and then get Mel on it and being like, now that I've been fired from Sunrise, I really could use that $10,000. Alright, let's move on. Oh, we've had some fun.
This segment
Alright,
is just
so
going to be
we're
a
gonna-
segment that gives and gives.
Should we move on to like something more matey, the political segment? or
I
should
think we should. No, I think we should.
Or do you want to talk about
What?
the garden? Yeah, probably not. Okay, look, this is a travesty, actually. Let's talk about this. We'll quickly move on. But
Yeah, it won't be a long segment.
We came to
This
Jordan's house.
This is the segment. Ooh, Jordan's got a nice garden. And he goes, next.
No, but that's not the segment. That's not the segment.
Corn. You don't see corn in beach areas. I mean, Bondi and corn. It's so silly.
Which is what Mislav did for half an hour. And then demanded that I come out being like, Jordan, come here. Did you know you had celery?
It's pretty impressive, though. Like you're.
I mean, it is growing out of sand. He has one. Look, think about this. Maybe Judaism is right because he has actually proven a Bible parable wrong. He built his house on sand.
He fucking did it. He fucking
Give him Israel.
He's growing maize out of he's growing maize out of sand. The Israelites are fucking.
No, but that's not the point. We're gonna move on.
Damn him and his kibbutz life.
So we came. So Jordan, we came when we saw the garden. We met your neighbor, who pretty much just owns everything around here.
Yeah, I'm pretty much a tenant to a slumlord.
So Miss Love, we were talking to your dad, and your dad was saying like stuff, like he was explaining like what Peter's, your neighbor's all about. And Miss Love asked him, does he have any kids? And apparently he doesn't have any kids, but his brother has kids. And Miss Love's and your dad was telling us how much property Peter owns. So he owns, just for the audience, he's like, so we're in Bondi, prime Bondi, and he owns like several, what are this, units? These are like this multiple shit. And then he apparently owns a few apartments in Clovelly, and your dad was saying that all of this is going to go on to his brother's son. And his brother's son
is Fab.
Is Fab.
No.
Yeah.
You don't know
that guy's a fan.
What happened?
I cannot believe this.
What happened?
If there is a man that like fits the dictionary definition of undeserving, this man rocks up and goes, he walks past my window once with a surfboard, using my hose, using my water to wash his surfboard. I hear it go, I look out, and because I'm too much of a pussy to say anything, I just go back to working. And then he walks back and goes, oh, you're the dude from the surfing videos. Nice.
Yes.
Dude, that guy
proceeds to surf.
That guy is going to get close to $100 million. And it's not even his dad.
I have to disagree here. I have to say, there's no one that is more deserving.
Fuck off! No, that guy is the least deserving person.
No way, dude.
I was
He's
saying,
a chill
Maybe he's
dude.
Lao Tzu.
Dude,
That's pretty much the teachings of Chinese philosophy.
He's a fucking Buddhist monk that has like blonde hair and smokes weed. It's
And
chill.
almost definitely has a tattoo of the Tao on it.
Dude,
He gave to the
I don't know
world.
how, like, if I should say this, but like, so I asked your dad, don't you think like maybe Peter would give the money to charity or something? And his response was, nah, he's Jewish.
Dude.
No way, Jordan's dead.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for throwing my dad under the bus. AKA David Kosi.
But look,
He's got to be Jewish with that name, but keep it.
I think he's got to be. But look, that's basically the segment. I mean, he's got
No, but the
cherries.
segment was, well, I'm sort of like, you're happy that fucking
I'm
surfing bum
stoked.
who goes to Indonesia to surf
I'm into that.
and is going to get $100 million. I'm fucking pissed because I think he's one of the most undeserving human beings. But the segment was, what would you do with $100 million?
Bam.
Now that's an interesting question. And I know the answer straight up. I would
Novelty
put a
combs.
mansion.
Novelty combs. How many?
How many things
Enough to fill up
a
the
billion
continent.
novelty codes. Because it's in bulk.
enough to fill up the land mass of like Bali per square meter. That's what you would buy.
That's so good.
And then you would just like take one of those photos of like one of those dudes.
Yeah,
that's
with a
in the-
letter on it, a really small letter that says no hard feelings, and then crush an entire island.
And then there'd be a photo with you. You'd actually be in the Guinness World Records and you'd be like, look how many I have, from like a satellite photo. Is that it?
I'm going to have to change it to that, yes. But
Not only that,
What else
he's
are you gonna
he's
say?
not even come up with his own ideas.
No, go on. What would be the real
Dude,
answer?
Ali, good ideas never go out of style. Right, novelty combs. Comedy peaked at that.
Give us the real answer.
Slightly larger than normal cones.
Give us the. Give us the.
Hey, at least you'll have an amazing hairstyle every time.
Give us the close. Give us the close second choice.
The close second choice was I was going to buy Jake Paul's mansion because he rents it at the moment, just to piss him off, just to make him move. And then I plonk it underwater in Dubai, and then just make it an underwater bubble mansion, and live the rest of my life like Sandy the Squirrel in SpongeBob SquarePants.
You know what's fucked? He's been talking about this since he's 7. That's not word of a lie.
Yeah, Jake Paul is mad.
No, this has been like a reoccurring.
No, that's phase 2.
But
It's
I
just...
remember this. He told me this when we were like first met, like maybe 6 years ago or something. He was like, I always wanted to build an underwater city.
Yeah, dude.
That was my dream, not to be a comedian. I settled.
Did you start like collecting 5 cents for one day building your underwater city?
Yes. No, this is what
I
happened.
went around and sorry, you're probably better at telling my life story than me because you had a 3rd degree perspective. Because from my perspective, I honestly felt like Kanye West when he came up with selling a white shirt for $220. I thought it was genius.
You sold Freddos for $3.50. It's the same
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's what he's doing.
Dude, this is what happened.
And also, they were the white Freddos that no one would see.
This is funny. This is what happened.
And also, sorry, and just as a quick side note to the fact, because nobody would buy the white chocolate Freddos because it's clearly the worst flavour. There was this kid called Jesse Searles that I hated at the time. Now I love him.
Don't you talk about Jesse Searles without mentioning the spherical nature of his head?
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
We are getting there. It's just like, why did we bother buying microphones? We could have just hollowed out his
And it doubles as a cereal bowl as well. 2 birds with 1 stone.
and he has some weird little Jew fro, so he acts as like a windsocket protector over the microphone. It's all there. We save so much money.
Once again, I know there's so many divisions in this show, but that's, first of all, it's a sign of a good show. But anyway, I'm sorry about that. But just, I have to say, we had a small amount of time where people
tells the audience what to like as well. Hey, you need to like this.
No, we had a small period of time, guys and girls, where you abused Jesse Searles online. Do it again. Anyway, back to it.
That's right.
Abuse him again.
I can't remember again. He said
abused.
to the House of Love saying, why is everybody writing to me Searles gets the girls? And the answer is, Miss Love said scene, which means that it's time for a second round of batting. But, so, right, Searles gets the girls. Anyway.
Searles did the white chocolate.
Searles, out of everybody, hated the white chocolate more than anybody else, right? Of
course he did.
And so I was selling chocolates, and he made fun of me once, and this is what a petty human being I am. I was selling them for 2 years straight.
He's an entrepreneur. He's always been an entrepreneur. Jordan's always been an entrepreneur. Go on.
Yeah. If by entrepreneur you mean scam artist.
What's the difference? Come on.
But anyway.
Finally coming around to comedy.
I was joking. There's a real difference.
Because he once said like, oh, you're selling chocolate, you fucking idiot, or something like that. Because I'm such a petty man. I am the real life soup Nazi. I knew that all he wanted to eat was the white chocolate one. So I said that you are only allowed to buy the white chocolate. That's it. And so for 2 years straight, he was begging me every single day for a caramel koala. I was sometimes offering double the money, saying I would give $4 for one of the caramel koalas. And I would flat out refuse because I have principles. And this is the saddest part. Despite the fact that he hated white chocolate, he bought it every day.
Unbelievable. That is Auschwitz, isn't it? It's just like, we had to eat our shoes, but after a while we learned to love the shoes, you know?
I taught him pain. I'm his Ariana Grande stanky next.
Yeah.
You're also a thief. You drank all my water too. Just as a side note.
That might have been yours.
Oh, was that yours, was it?
Yes.
Well, to quote Gabbo, I'm a bad widow.
And to give a background story on Jordan, he got paid out meticulously by every...
For selling those?
Yeah.
Well, you guys are dumb fucks. He's trying to make it.
Oh, no, I paid him out the most. Gabe Borghino paid him out a lot as well.
Close second.
Why am I not surprised by the fact that you paid him out for doing something
Gabe
that's
paid Gabe paid him well. By the way, Gabe stole like his body weight in chocolate off you, just so you know that. He stole
How?
it. And Luke. Maybe it was Luke.
Man,
But
Luke
anyway,
is so big.
he stole
How did he
it.
steal it?
I don't know, he's crafty in Spanish. He's a dodgy cunt. Like, that's not his sprite. But long story
He
short...
doesn't have bones, that's his secret. Isn't it? Just went into the tracks and win it.
But basically, Jordan
Dude,
was
what?
paid out.
You stole his chocolate.
I stole probably...
No wonder he doesn't have an underwater city.
No, that's not what happened.
No, that's not the reason you don't have an underwater city.
That's not the reason.
Let him explain.
But basically, I think I stole him off Luke because I felt bad. I like Jordan, so I don't think I stole him off Jordan. Gabe stole him off Jordan because he has, no morals. So he did that. I stole him off Luke because he was...
I can vouch for that.
Yeah, I stole him off Luke because he was just like... His entrepreneurship was lame. It's like, what are you going to spend it on? It's just like, I'm going to get custard tarts after school. It's like, fuck you. But basically...
No. The reason why he wanted to do it is because this legitimately is, and not a word of a joke, that is Luke Dansby Scott's real-life Bible, Koshi's 101 Ways to Survive in 2009. That is his golden life, to have 10,000
But basically...
He's just one of those really... He should be a lower middle-class mum, not a trendy gay man in Oxford Street. He should live exclusively in Gosford and always buy shit from Aldi.
Fucking hell, so true. That is so on point. But basically what happened was, someone did it, he saved all his money, he got paid out mercilessly. Everyone, some guy did the underwater hotel, he wanted to do an underwater hotel. So he was just like, oh, I can't do it now. And then we were all just like, ha ha. And then basically...
You failed at your dreams, dork.
And then basically it was just like, Jordan was just like, oh no. What am I going to do with my millions and millions of dollars? And just became Billy Corgan in the Smashing Pumpkins in the series. So I was like, down in there, woohoo! Let's not go buy fur hats. I want a blah 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 one. Like that was Jordan. Because it was just like sucked in. It's like, what am I going to do with my millions upon millions? So we're just like, no.
Wait, are you saying he stole his idea?
Someone stole Jordan's idea.
Oh, okay. I thought it was...
Yeah, some Dubai prince that had a little more capital than someone who was selling chocolates at
In
lunchtime.
fucking Sydney, as a fucking
But I'm sure you'd be
16-year-old,
aware about that, Ali.
being that prince.
Alright, well, so that's what we're going to do with our $100 million.
Wait a sec, you didn't even name your... Oh, you did name it. You did
No,
name
we
it.
don't have time to get into that. Plus, fuck it. We're going to move on to a meaty segment because people are paying for this.
Okay.
The hard talk with Ali.
The
Douche.
BBC Hard Talk.
Alright, are we going to get
I'm
into some meatiness before the 40% autistic cunts are like, well,
Dude,
if I don't get my news from three guys that don't wear pants, where am I? Where else am I supposed to get it? The BBC?
This is amazing.
it's better
I love
than
that
the
I built an
BBC.
empire being like, don't trust the media.
But I'm-
Anyway,
but
it's
I'm
getting pretty hot
afraid-
in here, guys. What do you reckon? Another layer of clothes? I've
It's
seen the
fucking
wheelies before,
hot.
it's fine.
It's Australia. It gets
I've
hot.
seen our cocks enough.
Dude,
I mean,
as...
like many, many
Dude, come on,
times.
Miss Love, flash your cock on the camera.
Nah,
it'll get taken off of
No, I'll
YouTube.
pass on that. I'm going to pass on that.
Alright, I'm flashing my...
No, dude, it's gonna no, dude, it's gonna be like
No, you're allowed to show some booty.
I don't want to. Oh, God, what's the
crap.
point?
Love that crack.
I want to talk about Venezuela.
First
Hot
things first,
stuff
darling.
coming through.
Yes.
Hot stuff coming through.
I have seen Jordan's ass more than anyone's ass.
I think
think.
you've seen my ass more than you've seen your own ass.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see my own ass that
Exactly,
often.
right? Yeah, I
That's
think
true.
that's it.
Yeah,
But, okay.
I just have a clear
Can we
picture,
please
but-
move
You've
on to
definitely
something
seen my ass more than you have your Tinder squeezes. And that's sad.
Sadly true.
Oh, man.
Do people think we're fucking?
Who?
Another layer to the internet troll is released.
Because like it.
Are you seeing a shrink about this? I bet
No,
you
I'm not
are.
saying a shrink because like if I meet someone,
Yeah.
like they tell me like one of the girls asked me, tell me something that no one knows, and I was like, I don't know what that is because I don't have like fucking deep dark secrets, and then she was asking me, tell me like I was like, well, like Jordan knows, like I tell whatever the fuck, I tell Jordan everything, and Jordan would tell me everything as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she thought like that's weird, that he knows most of my shit. And
Well, look, I'm on her side. You're clearly a homo.
that's what I'm saying. And I've seen his ass so many times that I don't even know how to dispute that. I've seen his talk too many times actually. I just don't know how this is going.
Embrace it. You're in the gayest city in the world. I'm pretty sure you get like more Centrelink benefits if you're gay in Sydney. So just embrace it, dude.
God,
Spoken like someone who lives in Lithgow. And I love how this podcast always devolves into us really psychoanalyzing whether or not we're gay. That's what people pay
No, but the
for.
fact of the matter is none of...
People give money to that.
Damn straight there. This is the this is an
We
insight.
figured out a way to game psychology.
This is way better than 12
Okay, we're
rules
gonna
for
move
life.
on. We're gonna
12
move...
rules for gay.
That's the lamest.
Yeah, that's...
12 rules for how to be gay.
I'm not on that train.
Oh, here we fucking go.
Yeah.
Hey, New Year! Hey, where's the...
You're
we don't have the fire
trivializing
horn.
sexuality here.
We don't have the harp horn, but that's the horn for...
Moving on.
No, that was the first year. That's the first time in 2019 Ali's not on that train.
Okay, alright,
We
fine.
do need that fart sound effect, but keep
However,
Yeah.
you
This is a
can get on
huge
this
point.
train.
Yep.
I'm a little afraid of doing this segment because the last time I spoke about Venezuela, I got a lot of people shitting on me.
Ali, you are way too paranoid about what people think. You got. Wait, if we are at a point now where we can't shit on Venezuela, I'm not doing.
No, it's the other way. It's cunts like you who were shitting on me because
Right.
I was just saying.
Pro Venezuela.
Well, I was okay. Let's
Yeah, he's like
let's jump into
sympathise
it.
with that view.
Let's just jump into it. And guys, the Entrepreneurship show. This is freedom of speech. I'm sorry. If you're offended, you're offended. No one can pay out Ali. He can cop it.
I'll tell you exactly because I don't. So there's two camps. Well, what we're going to talk about just
And I am
introduction.
very
We're talking about the
interested in
Venezuelan
this.
crisis.
Yeah.
There's two camps, right? And I think both those camps are equally ridiculous. There's one camp that says Venezuela is a shithole because of socialism, and
All right, now do the stupid one.
no, that's also stupid. Fuck! This is the thing. This is like it's
School's outdoor.
and then
Doyle rules.
and the other camp is it's not
Alright, but-
because of socialism. It's because of sanctions.
Okay, right.
Which
Well, which train are you on?
I'm not on any of these trains because both these trains are kind of stupid.
Yeah, 'cause
Hey,
it's
can I
not
just
communist
have this? Can I
enough
just,
for you.
can I just in this moment say, I love you guys. I really do. I really love you guys.
No, honestly, I've missed you guys a lot, and
let's just. I
the
want to
whole
dive right
time
into
that I was
this.
sitting there at Christmas with the family that I've known and raised me, I was just like,
These
these
guys.
aren't my real friends.
Yeah. Look, Ali, can we
It's
just?
two guys that have
Severe
very
autism.
severe
Alright, let's
insecurities.
let's start with the basics about Venezuela.
Let's-
we love you too, Jordan.
Let's jump into
Don't
it.
be needy.
Let's jump. Jesus. Let's jump into it.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. So Venezuela currently is indeed a shithole.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going through what the world went through, the Great Depression. In fact,
Damn,
worse.
it's that bad.
Their inflation is like in hundreds and thousands of percentage.
Oh my god. Is it worse than what's the country in Africa with like $50 billion notes?
Zimbabwe.
Is it worse than that?
It's actually close to that.
Okay.
In fact, I think it's not as bad as Zimbabwe
Right, okay.
was. Zimbabwe doesn't have their own currency anymore. They now do US dollars. Fun fact.
That's right.
So anyway, so the basic is what happened between 2013, 2012 to now that Venezuela went from being the richest country in Latin America
Was it the richest?
to a place where people are like mass migrating to Colombia and getting their head shaved off so that they can sell their hair.
Is that Fox
Oh
News
my
caravan?
True story.
Is that Fox News caravan of migrants?
No, that's a different. Well, they're probably there's some Venezuelans
Yeah,
in it, but that's mostly from like I don't know
Nicaragua.
Nicaragua and shit.
Sounds like every hipster group I know, some Venezuelans in it.
Yeah, one being like, hey, you know what's mad? This beat, doof, that doof.
So what happened?
What
Is
shampoo?
in 2013, the oil prices collapsed.
Yeah.
Around 2014, most of Venezuela's economy was based on oil exports, and most of their social programs, which were initiated by Chavez, were funded by the oil well. So what one of the things that Chavez did when he came into power was that he basically nationalized the oil revenue.
Yeah, just a bit lower.
And those funds were funding most of these social programs. By the way, there were some remarkable achievements in it. Like the poverty rate went down by close to 56 to 60%.
Wow.
Which is insane. Like,
Pretty good.
that's pretty insane.
China levels.
That's China levels, exactly. And so once Chavez died, oil prices collapsed. Most of the money that they were getting sort of dried up, and it just went crazy. What didn't help was the fact that so now let's address the sanctions.
The brash
Recently,
recently,
people like right-wing people always say sanctions have nothing to do with it. Sanctions are only there on select individuals, and this is because of socialist policies by Chavez and Nicolas Maduro now, which is leading to the problem. And sanctions. Goodyear, the tire company, recently closed down their factory in Venezuela, and this Goodyear isn't some socialist organization. Their main reason for shutting it down, as cited by them, was the economic sanctions put on them, put on Venezuela by U.S. and largely the world community that basically just adheres to U.S.'s line. That's a fact. So if you think that sanctions have nothing to do with it, in fact, I have a little bit of a gripe with Obama on this, because initially when Obama put on some of these turbocharged sanctions...
Why did they do them? Just quickly, why did they sanction?
Because they think that Nicolas Maduro is a dictator.
Yeah, right, gotcha.
And they want to put sanctions so that they can do some regime changes and shit.
Gotcha.
And Obama termed it as, these sanctions are on select individuals that are close to Nicolas Maduro, and it will only affect them. That was a fucking PR stunt. Obama was like kind of slimy when it came to that kind of shit. He said the same thing about Putin. Whenever he had to put on sanctions based on domestic pressure, he always said it's on like a few people, select individuals. The repercussions of that is felt everywhere. Because the economy isn't like just one or two people. Like, they're doing shit that other people depend on, and whatever the other people depend on, there's more people that depend on that. So it just... So anyway.
Ali, quickly. Is it fair to say that Obama is one of the worst presidents when it comes to international affairs?
No, it's not fair to say.
What about Gerald Ford? I just think that guy's name is funny. I don't know anything about his policies.
Oh,
me too. I love Gerald Ford. I think he's my favourite US president. He did a lot for the country. He brought them together after Watergate.
So,
and what else did he do? Oh, that's right. This is his famous quote. I can't chew gum and walk at the same time.
That's FDR brought the New Deal. He brought the New Deal, the game, Monopoly. The New Deal game. I think it's fun.
Gerald Ford finds it difficult to chew gum. Please re-elect me.
all of these facts, 100% accurate facts that you guys are spitting out right now.
Yeah, that's what you
don't need facts when you've got truth.
When you got a heart.
When you've got a heart.
When you got a heart.
So no one's saying. So let me put down what I think is the problem with Venezuela, right? The sanctions are horrible and they're crippling the economy, but that's not the reason for most of the shit that's going down. Chavez's social reforms and nationalizing the economy and the oil revenue, again, didn't help, particularly in time when a lot of people were depending on it when the oil revenue died out, but that is not the reason that Venezuela is in shit. Venezuela is in shit like every other country that found large reserves of oil, with one crazy exception, Norway. Norway is the only country that found large reserves of oil and somehow made it into a win-win situation for them.
Wait a second. Wouldn't Venezuela, the sort of mainframe have been exactly the same as Norway? They didn't privatize it and sell it away. They nationalized it. The government owned the fucking
but the problem is, and obviously Venezuelan governments are to blame about that, but not just Chavez and not just Maduro, but
corruption.
Every government that was even before them, post the 70s when the oil boom happened, around even 60s, 50s too.
Yeah.
So what happens is, and I think this is a problem that no one talks about. It's because of this stupid neoliberal economic idea known as comparative advantage. What happens is, irrespective of what kind of government is, socialist, capitalist, libertarian, once there is a national wealth, like Venezuelan oil reserves that are found, I am every first world country that wants to use that oil to turbocharge their own economy. Say the way economics works is this is your comparative advantage. Don't worry about other shit because if you try to do that, you'll be shit at it. Focus on what you're good at. And you happen to have oil, so you need to focus on that. No one gave a fuck about that because all of that money was going into private pockets. And because...
How was it going? It couldn't have...
Because before Chavez, most of these oil companies were private.
So... Right.
So what happened? So what was happening was oil was facing a boom because economies all over the world...
So wait a second, Venezuela was like fucking as capitalist as the USA before Chavez?
No, more capitalist.
Yeah, more capitalist.
Really?
All of South America was basically a test lab for fringe libertarians in the US.
What? Really?
It was... They had years when they were not very capitalist, but pre-Chavez and post-Chavez, you can sort of describe them as Chavistas, socialists, and a capitalist society. They had sort of...
the rhetoric of socialism, but it was all privatized.
Left of center governments come in every now and then, but mostly it didn't matter because they were all doing the same thing. So what was happening was the economy after the oil reserves were found, and they have large oil reserves, and it's the only country which has the largest proven oil reserves.
Yeah.
Proven oil, that's a different story altogether. But anyways, so their economy automatically, when you find a windfall like that, gravitates towards oil. It's a byproduct of unless you have some visionary that says, actually, this is a trap.
Because it'll run out or what?
Because it could be anything. It could run out, like now, oil prices could go down. There could be a thing called climate change, and no one wants oil anymore, and the people are depending on solar.
Well,
whatever it could be, whatever the reason is. Maybe they found some other thing 10 years later, like some other fossil fuel that was better than oil. Then all of it. So if you you put all your eggs in one basket, and it's also not something that people consciously do. It's just the way things happen, which is encouraged by the international community, including the U.S.
Well, yeah, it is. But so you're saying, basically, it was all privatized and then went offshore.
It went off. Initially, it was all fine.
Before they had a chance to use the revenue for the government, for the country, to spread.
So this is what happens, right? They find oil, right? Then they start exporting that oil, mainly to the U.S. They start making a lot of money. Private companies make money. And that money, even like a capitalist country like Australia, if James Packer makes money, it does sort of trickle down in some way. I mean, poor people don't become rich, but they earn wages. People that are working at these casinos and shit like that.
It's the same scenario as Sydney, because Sydney sold off most of its oil. Most of its oil. No, it's oil. It's fucking
look. You know what?
Coal and shit.
I'll better. And by the way, we're not immune to this. You can compare what happened in Venezuela on a small scale to what happened in WA after the mining boom.
Exactly.
What happened, same thing happened, and it's also not conscious decision. It's something that happens. You find a shitload of metals and coal that China, which is growing exponentially, wants. All of your economy deviates towards that. You forget about everything else. Once the mining boom dries up, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Luckily in Australia, we have a federation and we can sort of help them out in different ways. If your entire country is based on that, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So that was extremely poor economic planning.
But
honestly, why are you the head of a state if you think that a boom is never going to end?
Well,
that's got to be like
Jordan. You'd be surprised by how economies react to such a windfall. And I know you're absolutely right. And it's only
but this is the whole point. This is why you put it in a trust fund like Norway did.
Exactly, right? Norway is the exception. Norway is the fucking exception here who have managed to turn this shit around and have actually used it to their benefit.
Right. You want to know something else, Ale? Just to add something that's extremely infuriating about all of this. Is that you're painting the West Australian government and the Australian government as kind of just being dumb to all of this. They knew that was what you're supposed to do with that money. They just didn't because they've been to private companies. But the fact is that they set up one of those saving trust funds in East Timor, the exact same thing that they had for Norway. They set it up. The Australian government set that up. So they knew that
what does that tell you? That tells you that the power of private companies and private interests is unbearably difficult for political leadership to resist. And that's a tragedy. Okay, now what happens in Venezuela is that you have, initially these private companies are making money, oil demand is growing, their capacity to produce oil is growing, they're making more and more money, their economy is growing. It's not equitable, but their economy is growing. What they were good at was educating their people, even pre-Chavez days. What happens is then they face some sort of a recession, right? This is around the 80s.
Just quickly, did the government manage to hold on to any of the money?
What do you mean hold on to any of the money? Yeah, they had money. Like, there was a recession, but it wasn't a depression. It was all right. Like, this is a cyclical thing with economies.
No, but I'm just saying, like, generally, to generalize, you said, let's say majoritively it was privatized and sold off. The money was privatized and sold off. They made a short...
No, they were taxing. They were taxing. So it was...
When there's a huge boom like that, they're always just going, oh, we're managing the economy so well because we're keeping 13% of resources.
Yeah. And also because you're making so much money and the economy is growing, all of the shit that you aren't supposed to be doing goes under the rug. Because your economy is growing at a exponential rate. You're growing at like 6-7%.
Yeah.
Well, like it's like a sports team, you know. If you're winning, or
I get what you're saying. I'm just trying to figure out. if hypothetically we can praise like the socialist idea. Is it successful?
No, I'll come to that. I'll tell you what the difference is. And people get bogged down in this debate. So, okay, what happens with Chavez is he comes in and he appeals to a different base because as Venezuela was growing and Venezuela was doing decently, their capacity to produce oil, export oil was growing, which is all their economy was dependent on, and that's all they cared about.
Yeah.
When Chavez came in after a recession, he sort of addressed the inequality within the system. So he said that this money belongs to the real poor people of Venezuela. And he nationalized the oil wealth, and he decided to use that money to elevate poverty through these socialist schemes, which in hindsight weren't particularly good because they were falling in the same trap. They were just a socialist version of what the capitalists were doing. That is depending only on oil revenues. So even if you're giving it to poor people, where your money, the source of your money is coming from, is only one place.
But like, surely, like Jordan was saying with the 101 economics, surely like it's 101 government management to not put literally put all your eggs in one basket, not literally say oil. Like,
that's
surely you have the fucking brain
besides,
to be like, maybe like put it into like, I don't know what else makes money.
It's easier said than done.
Wings?
Crocodile vests.
It's easier said than done because that's what I'm saying. Every country that has found huge oil reserves, it has been a curse for them.
Yeah, because
they all fall into the same trap. Besides
Australia as well, right? Australia as well, right?
We don't have that many. We don't have like such a large amount.
Let's
of
say
oil
coal.
reserves. And plus, coal is.
Did we fall into that trap?
Yeah, we fucking did because we.
Okay.
And this was the same thing, but not as much as like oil, because oil changes lives. Oil is a very, or used to be a
it's
very.
It's just like it
finding
overwhelms
diamonds.
your
Right, so it completely overwhelms everything.
It overwhelms the psychology of the country. Yeah.
So when Chavez came in, he nationalized the revenue of oil. He followed the same model as what the previous governments were doing, but just he shared it in a different way, right?
And kept it for the government.
Which I think, in the grand scheme of things, when you're running macroeconomics, is irrelevant. Because I am not, for just as like an experiment, I am not interested in how, if that money is going into deep private pockets or if that money is going into really poor pockets, where the money is coming from and how, and the sustainability of that wealth, that's the issue that we're looking at.
So what he should have done is gotten the money and invested a lot of it into something that would pay dividends in 10 years or 5 years, right?
What he should have done is, and also now I'll sort of defend the socialists in one way because I happen to be one of the sanctions didn't help. It's hard to diversify your economy when most of the people that are buying the stuff are putting sanctions on you, right? But nonetheless, sanctions are like an excuse. You still need to manage it somehow. They never tried, or they never adequately tried or succeeded in diversifying their economy. And then all their eggs were in one basket, which was oil. If it was privately or publicly appropriated, doesn't matter. When the oil prices went down, the economy tanked.
Just quickly, I'm really curious, quick side note. How did Norway invest theirs?
They made a massive. First of all, they didn't put all their eggs in one basket. They recognized that a lot of their wealth does come from oil, which is fine.
What do they do? Just quickly, it's a quick side note.
For example, isn't Nokia Nokia used to be
Okay. So tech. So they invested into tech.
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that Nokia.
So tech?
yeah, tech, exactly, right? And Nokia used to be such a huge
It
company.
used to be Mount Snake.
You
Shout out
can't
Snake.
imagine a big company like Nokia coming from Saudi Arabia. Because they're so dependent on oil
That's very true.
that they don't have
They don't
time,
even
or
think
they don't
about
have
it.
like
They don't even think about
they
it.
don't even think about that short. But
See,
Nokia
that, I have
was
to
different.
say that, like, I am probably considered like conservative in many perspectives, maybe economically as well. I don't know, but not doing that seems crazy to me.
It is absolutely crazy.
Well,
It's-
one could argue that is conservative.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. That's very true. It's conservative to fucking invest in something that keeps you making money.
But the main overall economic strategy of Norway was to put $1 trillion. This is what they did.
Yeah, that's
Think about this.
like what
Australia had
universities do.
$1.3 trillion
Yep.
that John Howard let go overseas, just
Yep.
in his tenureship.
Yep.
He let $1.3 trillion go overseas to foreign multinational bank accounts. That's where all of our wealth went.
Mm-hmm.
Think about what an obscene amount of money that is.
It is an obscene amount of money.
Don't you reckon? Like, if the moon was for sale, we'd have change.
They made a huge fund.
Yeah, so
They
anyway,
made-
Norway
yeah.
did the same thing. They're the Paris Hilton of developed nations. They just live off a trust fund now. They put it all into this huge fund.
What, bonds?
No, like a savings account. And then they just manage it like you would manage a really safe super portfolio.
Like a hedge fund or something. So what you do is you put all your money into a bank,
You put it into a high interest earning...
No,
Right.
not interest. So what you do is then
Savings.
investment bankers take over that money and they invest it in places
Yeah.
where they feel that they can get a return
So
on
it's still
investment.
risky, but it's an
It's-
but all
no,
investments
With
not
that
are
sort of
really.
money
All
is not
investments,
risky.
if you're a hedge fund manager, you
it's-
know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And also even
And
if
also
you-
all investments are fucking risky.
with that sort of money, it'll make itself. Because even
Yeah,
if you lose
yeah.
some money, you still have a lot of money to get return on investment.
And you know what else
Yeah,
is
this
amazing about that Norwegian trust fund? They have so much global power now, because I can't remember what the stats are. I think it's like 1 in every $50 in the world is Norwegian money
Wow.
now. And as a result of that, they have a lot of soft power over the planet. And they can pull out of investments if they think that something's against, like...
Wow.
If like, say a
Yeah.
country's
Their
committing
morality, their
genocide or
morality.
something like that,
Yeah.
they don't have to invade anymore. They can just say, we're pulling our investments out, and then the African
Dude.
dictators have to be like, okay, leave them alone.
Dude, that's like meta.
Yeah.
I've never
It's
even
amazing.
thought about that. You have so much money as power that to destabilize a country, you pull your funds out, not fucking spend money going in. I've never even thought about that.
It's an
But this
amazing
shit,
model.
but this shit seems like common sense.
It is
seems
common
like
sense.
common sense, but like they say, common sense is the most
All right.
uncommon.
So back to Venezuela then. I don't want to keep going.
No, anyway, so in
that's
2003
what
when oil
happened.
prices tanked,
That's what happened.
what made it worse was that these socialist policies by Hugo Chavez, where he was basically giving out. So it's a little more complicated than the way I put it. So
Yeah, but
it was their economy is extremely import driven. So even things that they can produce quite easily, they import. In fact, not only that, what they do is
That's globalism. That's stupid.
yeah, but they're
the
more
world,
fucked.
but-
Like they're worse off.
Okay.
So what happens is like, let's say if you were to buy a toilet roll. Let's say a toilet
Good,
roll
sure.
costs $5 in international market.
Yeah.
They will promise their people toilet rolls for $3. What they'll do is they'll buy it for $5, and then they'll make up the remaining $2 themselves.
That's
So
stupid.
sell. Well, it's
No, if you're
It's-
from a poor country, it's a moral obligation of the government. That's how they see
yeah.
it. It's like what
it's all
Turkmenistan does
subsidies.
with its gas money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Right.
subsidized.
It's and like even we do it with certain things. So, for example, okay,
Anything
let's
with
talk about-
Australian-made kangaroo.
Let's talk about like even with WA, right? So in Western Australia,
Yeah, sorry. Go
in
on.
Western Australia, after the mining boom ended, their revenue shrank.
Yeah.
The GST is formed in a way where we give states money based on how much they need it, right? So even we subsidize the Western Australian economy. So if they will give them something at a lesser cost, and like bigger economies like Victoria and New South Wales will make up for it. That's not particularly bad.
Right, I
The
guess
way
so, I
it
guess
was
so.
entrenched in the Venezuelan system was a little corrosive, particularly when it's not coming from a diversified economy.
Yeah.
The other problem was that because Venezuela gave public jobs, so everyone now sort of has
Government job.
2 or 3 jobs. So everyone has a government job, but the government job is based on a very minimal salary, and after this hyperinflation, none of that salary so you go out and you have to buy milk,
and
it costs like 100,000 of whatever their currency is,
and they don't make
and then the money that they're getting is 60. It's that sort of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because
it's complicated.
The Maduro government has fixed their exchange rate.
So can I just quickly, I understand that, can I just quickly ask then, is it a question of the problem is just that they didn't diversify their economy and they relied on oil? So, let's say crony capitalism or hyper-capitalism
even crony socialism.
Versus socialism or crony socialism, is it like those isms don't actually matter? Or they do matter? Like,
no, they matter.
So you still blame, you would still blame crony capitalism that fucked the problem in the beginning, because they were just like...
I'm saying
it's hard
crony
to pinpoint.
capitalism and crony socialism of Chavez and Maduro is not helping the situation. What I'm trying to say is, it is not, as controversial as it seems, it is not the root cause of their problems.
No, I get that.
Because when the oil prices were high, it was somehow managing, right?
Yeah.
And not only that, the Chavez government was funding other Latin American countries. So not only were they taking care of themselves and reducing poverty, they were sort of like, they were regional leaders.
So you think... So it's almost not a question of capitalism
and it was
versus
the same thing
it's a question of
pre-Chavez when it was a capitalist state. They were doing the same thing. They were still making money.
Alright, I got a question actually really quickly. What does America do with its oil when they find it? Because they've just hit a lot of oil now, right?
Well, with America, it's a little different. So they have a lot of oil. They've always had a lot of oil, and they've always known that they've had a lot of oil. With America, the problem was that the cost of extracting that oil was so high that it was uncompetitive in the international market.
So however,
with fracking and shit, that's changed. So their oil revenue is just like that train is just about to start.
Here's a small question you can answer in one word. Does America manage its economy well in terms of profitability?
because they don't depend on just oil. They have a lot of other things that
they're blessed, aren't they?
They don't manage their economy well.
No, I mean, look, so there's the fiscal policy, which is whatever money that you have, how do you use that money? They don't manage their fiscal policy.
They just spend it on the
However,
military
in terms of research, growth, improving your economy, the only problem that America has is that a lot of their money comes from speculative investments, which is
like the housing markets and shit.
Like housing market, basically Wall Street.
Yeah.
Wall Street.
Yeah,
right?
it's so retarded, isn't it? If you actually look at Wall Street, it's like fucking school playgrounds. Grown men running around yelling at each other. Sometimes even punching each other.
And throwing midgets and shit too.
And there's a bill.
There's a bill that someone gets to read. It's insanity. Ding, 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 yeah! Let's go have a really yummy lunch. Like, it is insane.
But you know what? That's exactly the reason why U.S. is against climate change. And why why Noam Chomsky said it's the most dangerous organization in the world.
Why?
Because they finally been now able to extract all of this oil at a cost-effective price, and they're able to sell it in the international market, where all of a sudden people like Jordan tell them, actually you can't do that anymore because the planet is warming up. So business interests in America are like, well, fuck that shit, I want to make money.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why they're not pro climate change. Well, at least the Republican Party is. However, within them,
because they're pro business no matter what.
Let's look at like the state of Texas, for example.
Sorry to
Texas has always had oil, right?
Yeah.
Texas is also a powerhouse for wind energy. So there's competing forces within that state that are fighting with each other.
Holy shit.
And it is crazy. Like, they're making a lot of money from wind, and they're also making a lot of money from oil.
Fuck.
So they have now started selling their oil in a time when it's not making a killing like it was when Saudi Arabia, for example, found it or was selling it. Even Saudi Arabia, a country that still has a fuckload of oil, where their minister, who drills holes to find water, ends up finding oil every time, is trying to diversify their economy now. Because the main guy that's their plan, because they see that because of climate, eventually it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
Which is a smart thing to do. The problem is how are they able, because that's another country which solely depends on oil. If oil prices completely tank, the thing with Saudi Arabia
they've still got dried fish and tea.
They'll be fucked.
Trinkets and bees, Ali. Trinkets.
That is amazing
and
that
bees.
you become one of these hotshot, like mad dogs of war, trading in fish.
What's this?
That is what you should be doing.
I
in your
know.
life, isn't
What
it?
is this?
Love that.
It's Nesquik pellets. What is this for fish? No, you eat it yourself. It's a treat.
yes, yes.
Raghead.
Nicholas Cage. I'm good at this job.
Well, okay, look.
Alright, well, let's wrap it up.
Okay, well, look.
I'll take a
It's
final
okay, it's
question.
okay.
I'll take a final question, alright?
Yeah. How long are our pods going for these days? We're
Well,
doing an hour and a
fucking-
half each one?
No, we're doing like an
Just
hour.
whatever.
1 hour
Alright.
80 minutes.
Well, look,
About-
just to I think we're not going over. It's so good. So to go back to Venezuela, so if it comes down to an argument of capitalist versus socialist, and when people like Ben Shapiro are just like, look at Venezuela, you think they're communism, or look socialism, they're eating rats. Do you think it's more a
Yeah, but Ben
question?
Shapiro's he frames his arguments like a lawyer does.
Yeah,
He doesn't
he's
look
a
at the wider
smart-
context of it.
Yeah,
Ali
he's
is
a very
really intelligent breakdown.
But
of
he's
what's
a-
happened
Thank you
in Venezuela in the
very-
last
but-
50
I
years.
don't.
Yeah.
Now I can raise my hand.
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro is a smart
He
man.
served it. Alright, so Ali from now on has 2 official catchphrases. One is when he's offended by something, he says, quote, I'm not on that train. Go back to previous podcasts to see the origins of that. And when he feels like he has finally earned it, he raises his hand and that a la Star Trek. Point.
First of all, he's not offended by it, he's covering his ass, let's call it what it is.
What?
You're not offended by it, you're just
What?
covering his
I'm offended.
bullshit. Anyway,
You do
what I
realise
wanna-
we've got camera now.
we've got a camera on you. What I want to ask is, that argument sort of goes out the window. It's more a question of sensible management of resources. That's the real question.
No, look, it doesn't go out of the window for me. At this point, I have tried to purposely ignore that aspect. Or not ignore it, but like not put too much attention onto it, because that's where the general debate lies, rather than what the actual issue is. However,
Yeah.
if we want to talk about this, I do have a camp. Look, I genuinely believe, like, so once you've got an economy that is diversified, that is making money,
Then
how
so-
that money is used, that brings us back to the question of America. The fiscal policy of how you use that money is also very important.
Yeah.
Because you can either use all of that money and fill like certain pockets, or you can use the same amount of money to educate your people, to reduce poverty, to increase the size of the pie, and make sure that if you're fed well, like the old lady next door is also, has a nice meal for her to eat.
Yeah.
And this might sound like in Australia you can, even in Australia that's kind of like it's not necessarily the case, but like in Latin American countries, that's a real issue.
Yeah.
Like there's people that are genuinely starving. So how you use that wealth is also important. And now I'll bring out my socialism. Well, like I think that it needs to be. You need to have some sort of. Dude, over the years I've become less communist, clearly, even less socialist in that way. But I still believe in public investment on towards poor people.
It's not an extremist perspective.
It's
to
not
think
an
that,
extremist
yeah.
perspective at all.
Even though I think that
they'll pay you back.
Even
they'll
though
become
yeah.
functioning members of society and the economy. They'll give you more in taxes. If
No, I
you
agree.
keep them really poor, they're useless as well.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, even though I think that whatever her name is, Cortez chick, is insane and like loony. But
Why do you not like her?
she wants to abolish ICE. She doesn't understand facts. Like she just
No, but the reason she wants to abolish ICE is because she wants to redivert those resources back to the original border control force. That's the issue. Because ICE is above the law. That's the reason that they
how
have
are
an
they
issue
above the
with
law? They're a
ICE.
government
Nah,
organization.
the goddamn
Yeah,
refugees are above the law. They're coming in without even visas.
And also, she's like.
I mean, Ali raises a good point. She's got bigger fish to fry than
All right.
ICE.
On that note, we'll
poor
see you
cunts
next
in
week.
caravans.
Yeah, we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next week. This is the first of 2019.
And also, we're not paying attention to the camera, but like, if you want to watch it this way, then
Yeah, no,
do
Joe
it. Why
Rogan, and also Patreon is nice because then we can buy more
Hawaiian shirts
and
pants.
and little bracelets from Bondi. Ow,
Be happy.
See ya. Bye. Yeah.
Sick pod. Really good pod.
That was sick.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Fucking oath.